This week on LCARA HAMRadio, we are going to get up bright and early for the Lake Cumberland Airshow at the Pulaski County Somerset Airport. It was a beautiful day, just a few clouds and some sunshine, and those wonderful planes at the Airshow. We're going to set up the emergency communications trailer. We're going to show the public what we can do, and then we're going to tear it all back down again. That's what's coming up this week on LCARA HAMRadio. Well, as we head to the Pulaski County Somerset Airport, it was early that morning. I had driven up from my place, Tiny Fangorn in Tennessee, to Don and Wanda's, AC4DM and WM4LM, and worldwide headquarters to pick up the trailer. And I thought, well, I'll get a little bit of footage of how early it was that morning and just starting to see the sunrise. And just a little bit of the trip in, just a little, not much.
What a beautiful day. Can't express how nice it is. It's probably about 65. That's probably not even that warm, probably just 62. And what a beautiful day for an air show. A lot of these clouds are going to move out. And this entire area in front here is going to be full of vendors. They are expecting 10,000 people for this small town air show. Somerset, Kentucky, where Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association is based. And you can see the flight line there and the runways a little bit. And we've got a couple of helicopters on this end. But we're just early today. We always try to get places early. That way we don't have to fight or get confused with other vendors. We're probably here an hour earlier than we need to be, but nonetheless, we have the trailer more or less where we want to park it. We're going to let AC4DM look things over. If I need to adjust, I will. And we'll bring you back in the next segment once we have things a little more set up, and we should have more members here in a moment. And there in the distance, AC4DM and WM4LM walking down the flight line. They had to park all the way on the other end and walk down this way. So we'll see you in the next segment as we get things set up. And we're looking at one of the planes that will be flying today, currently parked. Now that I am parked myself from dropping off the trailer, I am walking down the avenue here, so to speak. We're on the other end, way down there. But it'll take about 4 minutes to walk down there probably. And then we shall show you some of the things that we're setting up for today's event, as well as letting the community know amateur radio is still around.
And we begin to set up. You can see we've got KY4MM, or KY6, excuse me, MM. We've got myself there in the foreground speaking to a couple of our other members, including Ron and Lyndon. We've also got Chris shooting some video here. You can see the Mitchell way down on the other end. Plus, here on the flight line, you will see some of the acrobatic planes that will be up in the air a little bit later. And where we can, we'll try to use some of the audio from those planes flying. Maybe not those specific ones, but other planes that are at the event. There's Miss Wanda getting the table ready. And we can see here the Jacks, and the Honda is out to provide us with power while we're at the event. We're going to show a few clips of this morning. You can see Ron there, and we've got Don and a few others. But we've got our cones out. We'll continually adjust those as we need an outer perimeter just for safety. See my brother there, KY4CKP. Mike and Lyndon are getting some antennas ready for installation or setup outside the trailer. And, we're just taking our time. Like I said, I think we were there at least an hour earlier, probably than what we needed to be. But notice that we don't have to fight any crowds, we don't have to fight any other vendors, and we can essentially be completely set up and ready to go before really anybody else came along. I think the Boy Scouts did eventually come to our north, just to the left of this screen, but didn't have to fight with crowds or other vendors.
Many times.
And we can see here, Chris has got one of the telescoping poles that we use for antennas, and specifically for the 2-meter antenna. This is going to get us back to the repeater. Obviously, AC4DM is going to get right in the middle of it as his usual, and he's always teaching. You know, if there's something that we might do more efficiently, or if there's something that in his brain he's engineered it a specific way, he's going to show you the right way to do it. Now, in this particular instance, I think the collar we've got here was actually too small. We brought out the wrong one. So even though he is doing his darndest, we don't actually have the right size here. But nonetheless, you can see down below that, we're attaching a cable and getting ready to hook up that antenna so that we have the 2-meter repeater running, 2-meter radio, running on the inside of the trailer. Looking back at the backside of the trailer, we can see Mike is looking over some things. We were trying to decide what we wanted to install for this day. So here in just a couple of segments, we will show you the Octopus. It was actually an MFJ. I want to say it's the 2100, but it may go by a different model number. But if you search the MFJ Octopus, and of course MFJ has been sold out, but there are other antennas like it, and very distinctive. Once you see one, it's kind of like a hex beam, instantly recognizable. We'll be putting that up here in just a few minutes. Most cable clamps come off, and we're putting on some slightly larger ones to affix this telescoping mast to the trailer hitch here on that C channel. And the reason we're showing you this setup, folks, it's not all, just wow the public with radio and displays and everything. This probably took us a good 30 minutes to set up. And again, we had new people that needed to see the correct way to install and what goes with the setup for the various antennas. And so this is a great learning opportunity for several of our new members.
Right.
And you can see we've now got the whip on the Tar Heel. And in this particular instance, we set up the Tar Heel but did not use it. But again, we're just showing the community the various types of antennas that can be easily utilized in these types of situations. And if we get a question, we'll certainly go into more detail about that antenna. But this one wasn't actually used for the event. We can keep our footprint down to a bare minimum, basically the trailer size. So when we're in tight or cramped quarters, we still have VHF, HF radios ready to go. And we can see Chris and Lyndon here finalizing the setup for the Comet GP3. Always give a good shout out to the good folks at Comet, as they've helped us over the years substantially. And I believe they've just about got it ready to put on the fitting that goes over that cable connection and then onto the mast eventually.
I got this was the 10 and then these were the 8.
And again, I'll just say it one more time. This is a great learning experience for your members. This is why Chris and I talk about this all the time. Look for these kinds of events so that you can get out into the community and not only let the community see you, but get your members out there in a way that allows them to give back and learn how to use some of the equipment. And while we continue to set up a little bit, you can see the Tar Heel now is in place. Again, we didn't use it for this particular event, but again, it looks good out there. And again, we get questions on the different styles and types of antennas quite frequently. And as we can now see, the VHF 2-meter antenna is up and ready to be used.
Don, what are we putting on this one? Which antenna?
Mike's going to experiment with that octopus.
The octopus?
I'm not so sure this is going to work easily. We're going to have to put those on here. This not in here. And somehow. Joe, I was appreciative of that, by the way. Even if I didn't say anything. This is the first time I've put this up. So.
Invert arrow.
And now we can see that they've got the ham sticks on the octopus hub and then attached to that yellow telescoping mast. I think Don gets access to these masts from the power company. He's got a couple of these, if I'm not mistaken. And in the next segment here, we shall see it all the way up in the air, doing just a great job. And this antenna gets a lot of eyeballs because it looks so different from what a lot of people are used to. And as we'll see a little bit later, it made a ton of contacts.
New members who have come from other states, some of them, California and others. In the next segments, we'll see what else we can get into.
At least for some situations.
And we have a static display here of a helicopter. This one didn't go up in the air, but lots of folks got their picture taking inside of it. And we've got a Mustang coming out. We'll fly a little bit later. What a beautiful plane. That's the other great thing about these air shows, seeing some of these planes from many, many years ago, decades ago. Another plane just coming down here in front of the hangar. One of the things that the air show is very careful about, although we got somebody walking there, but is this is not open to the public at this point. This we're there so early that we can see a lot of this setup, but there are planes moving in and about. So it's an active taxiway, so to speak. And here we can see some of the food trucks that came out to support the event. I'll be honest with you, it's not good for you, but I like a lot of this food. And a good hot dog or taco goes down nicely.
There we go.
Which ones are the ones that are good contacts? Purple or gold? Or black?
Okay, so the purple is going to be active things going on. I should change the color schemes to make it easier to read.
But in the middle there, those are the ones you're working, isn't it?
This is the activity that I'm doing. So this means the yellowish color means I'm calling CQ.
Okay.
It's me doing something. And then the purple with the stupid red is I'm going to have to go in and change all this. Once this sequence of us is done, I want to see.
Get Chris in there.
Hello.
Heck yeah. How are you doing?
Getting ready to ride that hooey.
Are you?
Oh, nice.
Daughter, yeah.
Wow, you're forking over the money there.
Already. That's why I didn't get
That's only for rich folks.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Well, he's good with the banker.
Right. Well,
running GTDX, which is not, it's a derivation of WSJTX.
Okay.
I like it because it's a little different display. It's easier to see and it allows me to go dark mode. And anyway, I like it better. This is Grid Tracker that I'm using. And Grid Tracker is an amazing tool that I recommend anybody doing any of the FT and FT4 digital mode stuff. It gives you a visual representation with a map of everything going on there. I just zoomed out a little bit.
And you can see where the gray line is and all that.
You can see there's the gray lines here on this.
So
right
you're
now.
getting good contacts even before the gray.
Like we just did this contact with
South
ZS4JAN in South Africa.
South Africa.
And he gave me a -6, but I gave him a +8. But he's fluctuating between a +4 and a +8.
But still, that's South Africa.
South Africa, 83. I think I said it was 8,400 miles.
+6 to +8.
Yeah.
And let's tell the audience, which of the antennas that we had on the earlier segment, which antenna are we using?
We're using the Octopus. So we're using a bunch of these
ham sticks.
Ham sticks. We're not using these because we've already occupied the thing. So we've got 10, 15, 20, and 40 ham sticks in the Octopus right now. We're only doing 10 meters right now, as you can hear this noise. But we're getting out no problem. We are hearing all.
And we've probably got that antenna up, what, about 20, 25 feet?
30 feet.
30 feet?
Yeah, it's extended to the height of that yellow mast. So
right.
It's right at 30 feet.
So we've got really good propagation by just getting it up off the ground.
We're also at the airport. So
right.
we don't, I mean, other than these hangars
the
on
buildings,
this side,
yeah.
we don't have tall buildings around us. We're getting amazing coverage. So I'm looking forward to switching away from digital to phone in a little while and see how 10 meters is doing on sideband.
And folks, those of you that are watching, I mean, this is why you come out to these events. Not only are we making contacts, so that helps us have fun with the activity, but as people come by and they want tours, we can show people that we're making contacts. We can even have them actually make contacts, especially when we move to phone and we can do third-party traffic. So this is why you and your club need to get out in the community, whether it's an air show or some other type of event. So SX8AS, where are we talking there?
Greece.
So that's Greece.
Salamis Island, DX radio team. So
cool.
This is probably one of those smaller expeditions going on.
Right.
But now I'm also getting Switzerland. Yeah, so we just confirmed that Greek station. But now I got Switzerland. Let me expand this.
I've zoomed in a little bit, folks, so you can see kind of that red dotted line. That was the connection that he just made to one of the islands there in Greece, I think.
So now we're trying to get this guy who called me, HB3XUT. He called me right near the end of that contact with Greece.
Right.
So
and folks, when we hear that explosion, that means he had a successful contact, I think.
Yes, that means it was logged.
Logged,
so,
right.
And that's a function of Grid Tracker. I like the boom because it's quick and it's loud enough to. South Central Kentucky. We're actually almost a special event station out here. Just heard you. Can you confirm your call sign? And by the way, you're a 5'9" in here. Solid as anything.
My call is India Kilo 4 Golf Radio Ocean. My name is Lauro, L-A-U-R-O, and I am located in Modena, northern part of Italy. Over.
Roger, Lauro. Nice to meet you. My name is Mike. My actual call sign is Kilo Yankee 6 Mike, but we're operating our club call sign of November 4 Lima Charlie Alpha at the Lake Cumberland Airshow here in Somerset, Kentucky.
Okay, are you activating something? Over.
Nothing official, but we are just operating out here at this airshow. We have a lot of aircraft. I don't know if you can hear the noise in the background, but we've got a helicopter flying over or landing behind us right now. They're doing helicopter tours for people.
Okay, appreciate your call, Mike. Appreciate the call. November 4 Lima, Charlie America. Enjoy your activity.
attention as we honor our friends to the north, Canada, and the United States of America.
33 Larry, break with you, North America 4DX. This is T3 Bravo November, program.
November 4, Lima Charlie Alpha, Somerset, Kentucky.
November 4 Lima Charlie Alpha, beautiful signal 59 from Kentucky. Thanks.
And just like that, we begin our teardown here at the Airshow. It was a lot of fun. We got there early this morning. You could see the sunrise. And now it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. These air shows actually end fairly early. It's not that late in the day, but it gives us plenty of time to get all of our equipment put away, from antennas to cables to setting up the emergency communications trailer for travel. And as you saw, we utilized, or at least set up, 3 different antennas to show the public the different ways you can communicate with amateur radio. Here we have our little elephant walk, if you will. It's not really an elephant walk, but we can see a lot of the acrobatic planes about ready to take off to their next destination. They don't hang around. They've got shows to do all over the country. And that's going to wrap up this week's video, folks. I want to thank you for coming along for the air show with us, the Lake Cumberland Air Show at the Pulaski County Somerset Airport, and as we watch the Mitchell fly off into the sunset. Just a reminder, what is your club doing? Are you looking for these kinds of activities? Find these activities and get involved, folks. 5K runs, walks, an air show. You just never know. And let the community know you're out there. For the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, this is Brian, KY4 BDP 73. Like and subscribe. Take care.